My name is Molo, and firstly, let me just say thank you guys for this opportunity. This is actually my first employee wellness program that I'm part of. And it gives me great joy because in my previous life, I was just a motivational speaker, and I feel like the transition I have made is very significant, and I'm going to tell you guys why. Because like I said, when I was in Transnet, I had a different state of mind when I first went in. I was coming from college. I studied the wrong course, because it's not really what I wanted to do. And I found myself in an engineering field, something that I never thought I would be doing with my life. And the environment was not conducive. There's this thing called silica sand. So basically working in the Ekadi mask all day, every day. It is hot, it is loud, it has this sand all the time. When you were a troubled child and then you find yourself in the foundry, it's like, Mudimo, now I need you to reflect on all the decisions you've been making. Because that environment was just a culture shock for me. Because I never thought when I was growing up that I would find myself in a situation where I'm so compromised. I'm not doing what I wanted to do with my life. I'm not who I wanted to be. I was just lost, So when I found myself in a foundry, in an environment that literally just killed my spirit, but actually gave birth to a new me, But when I first went there, I just realized I lost, I failed. I made too many mistakes. I messed up my life, and I have to start reflecting. But that silica sand eats at your lungs, and they tell you there's a disease called silicosis. In fact, on the way here, when I bought the most silicosis causes company billions. And that environment, I lived in it, silica sand almost every day. And I knew consciously this thing is eating my lungs every single day when I'm in here. And they tell you you're going to have a chronic disease and I fall. So you're going to die from what you're doing. So I had to now really start thinking about who I am, where I'm going, what all this means. And I started engaging in personal development and I started changing my life. So like I said, I was flying high by 2016. Satao was flying me all over the world. I had seen many places. I was now being interviewed on radio. I was speaking in the company. I was speaking to my colleagues and even management that would come and I would give them a talk, managers. I never thought I would find myself in that situation, but there I was. So while I was flying high, life just came and said, there's another part of your life that I think maybe needs to evolve a little bit, because I had managed to sort of solve my mental issues and started putting the right information to start thinking right. And I started learning how to forgive because I'd been through a very traumatic past with my brother and being very aggressive and fighting with him all the time. So I became a very angry teenager. So I took on that energy and I lived with it for a while. And I learned that, I got to heal myself emotionally as well. So I had learned also to let go and forgive myself and forgive everybody. So I was finally on a path to becoming what I would say somebody I started to respect. But there was another aspect of my life that I didn't anticipate would take a twist as much as it has. And that was when I started finding out through Dr. Google that I was literally diabetic. And it came at a funny time because I was exercising every day. Like I said, I was eating everything that doctors tell you to eat. I was on the enzymes, I was on the proteins, I was on the vitamins. I felt that I was doing everything right. So when I finally found myself diabetic, it was a major shock. Major. Because I don't think any of us actually thinks here one day you're going to find yourself with diabetes. Right? One day I might have diabetes. Or one day I might have cancer. We always think it'll happen to another person. We never think it'll happen to ourselves. So when it happened to me, it didn't make sense at all. Because what more could I do right? I'm exercising, I'm watching what the doctors say, and I'm trying to adjust myself. I'm meditating, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do to make sure mentally, emotionally, and physically I'm right. But when the circumstances of life hit me, it was a major shock. So as an African boy, naturally there was a gravitation towards natural stuff. I didn't want to go towards the more modern scientific allopathic way. I wanted to discover if there was an African way or a natural way, or if I can take some plants or some herbs or whatever to heal myself. So that led me on a journey. Being diabetic led me on a journey, and some of the symptoms that I was suffering from that were consistent. And I think this is where I feel even in companies, we will not be able to perform at our peak. I'm just talking about from personal experience, because I remember when I was in Transnet, I was a shop steward. And as a shop steward, your job is to be alert. You need to make sure you can understand documents, you can transfer documents, you can understand, you can interact with management on a high level. You know, you need to be sharp. You need to be on top of your game because you're dealing with people's lives and their jobs. So when you represent workers, it's a hard job. But what I noticed is my brain began to get foggy. My thoughts began to get very foggy. I couldn't remember anything. I just couldn't remember anything. I remember this one time I forgot my keys at work and got home. It was winter. And the biggest shock of my life when I went through my bag and I couldn't find my keys and I didn't understand why. And when I called, they told me, no, you left your keys right here next to your locker. You know, it became so bad that I started just literally being a zombie, just walking dead. I'm not alert. I'm not aware. I'm tired all the time. I have no energy. I'm always sleepy. You know, I would get on the taxi and pull out my tablet or my book and I would try to read. 5 minutes later, I am in the book, literally sleepy. You know, I would get to work and whenever there was break or lunchtime, now I wanted a corner so I can get enough rest. But it didn't make sense to me how no matter how much I rested, I never had enough rest. Like it was never enough. I was always tired. And the third thing that really led me to start saying, whoa, something is really wrong, was when my libido went down. Now, as a man, you know, I was like, what? I can't have such problems. I'm 30 years old. I can't be having libido issues. I'm still going to turn 40 and 50 and 60. What does that mean for the rest of my life? This is a disaster. So I said, I have to find solutions to what's going on. And so I started going on Dr. Google and going on the internet and going on YouTube. And I started learning. I started trying to find, how do I heal myself from diabetes? How do I make sure that this problem does not persist? You know? And I found a guy called Brother Polite. I paid a little bit of attention to him. He directed me to Dr. Sebi. I don't know, maybe some of you might have known Dr. Sebi by now. And I started paying attention to Dr. Sebi because I needed urgent help immediately. And I knew that if I try to go the doctor way, the medical way, they're going to put me on insulin and tell me that my problem is never going to end, that I must take insulin for the rest of my life. But something inside of me said, no, man, surely there should be a way I can heal myself. This thing came into the body. It wasn't always here. So there was something fundamentally that I did wrong along the way that brought this diabetes in me. So I started paying attention to what Dr. Sebi said. And I started listening and really paying attention. And he began to break down health. He began to break down food. He began to break down disease. He began to break down what's going on in the medical industry. And he started to really paint me a picture of why massively most of us in the 50s, they say that cancer was 1 in 2. Today, they say cancer is 1 in 2. I mean, it was 1 in 50 in the 50s. So you could count 50 people and only one would develop cancer. But today, it is 1 in 2. So clearly, there's a reason why this is happening. So I listened to Dr. Sebi and I decided that I was going to go completely plant-based, completely vegan. And I watched the documentary. I remember I stayed with my lady at that time. I watched a documentary called What the Health. I would recommend every one of you watch it. Né? It'll destroy your life though. What I mean is your eating habits, you will start questioning what is really going on. I advise you to watch it. I really think you should, especially with your children. So I watched a documentary called What the Health. And What the Health just opened my mind to what is really going on in the meat industry, what they do to the animals before it gets to the shelf, and what the effects of that meat. It taught me what's really going on in the medical industry and why we're not getting. So I was like, oh my gosh, I need to really do a 360 on what's going on unless if I want to see a difference. So I was so angry when I saw that documentary and I saw what they're doing in the meat and in the food and in the packaged industry and all the chemicals that are in the food. I got so angry. And I remember I just bought grocery at that time, but I went into my fridge and I pulled my meat out and I went to my dustbin and I threw it in there, and I went back and I pulled it out and I threw it in there and I took out all the dairy stuff and I took out all the milk, all the cheese, all the stuff that I used to like, and I pulled it all out and I threw it in the dustbin. I went to my cupboard and I pulled out all the packaged food, the canned food, everything with all these ingredients, some of my E321, this and that, and all of those chemicals, and I threw it in the dustbin. And I decided I was going to go plant-based. I was going to go what they call vegan. This is a new life for me. I am forced because clearly somebody has been deceiving me here. For a long time, I was under the impression that when I was eating meat, I'm eating protein. When I'm eating all this stuff, I'm eating vitamins. When I'm eating all this, there's enzymes. So I'm doing something good to my body. But I found out that somebody had actually deceived me long before I could be aware. My mother was deceived because my mother didn't know what to feed me. My mother was feeding me the same stuff that these people are doing. So my mother did not have the awareness to say, no, my child, I can't feed you this. So clearly, there's a whole chain, it's a whole community, it's a whole industry. All of us are eating the same way we eat. We eat meat, we take milk, we take cheese, we take all these things. So as soon as I let those things go, and I started cleansing and detoxing and juicing, right? I began to notice how my body let go of all those toxins. Because what Dr. Sebi says is this: when you eat acidic foods, and this is what the key of food really is, and this is the part that I feel like if I don't teach you this, I would not have taught you anything. So I will use your board for a second. Maybe you can switch your camera and come this side. So this is the basic thing that Dr. Sebi taught me, and I would like to give you this as knowledge so that you can empower yourself from now going forward. Most of us, we landed when we were in primary or something, right? Because I remember this from primary. It's called the pH scale, right? Anybody know it here? Come on, guys. Acid, right? And alkaline, right? And so, okay, 14. So, basically, this is how you define whether something is good for you or bad for you. This is where you define whether you can be able to heal yourself from cancer, from diabetes, from HIV. And I do say it confidently when I say that, because it is proven that all disease is just autoimmune problems. It's not something that is incurable. So this is, the medical industry tells us these things because their aim is to live off our sickness. If they tell you you have a chronic problem, then you believe that it'll never get well. So you rely on whatever they give you to continue to sustain yourself. But in actual sense, you can heal your body. And this is how I began to heal my diabetes. So acid foods, this is the meat. This is the dairy. This is flour. This is the wines and alcohol and the GMO foods. This is seedless foods, They make seedless foods these days. And this is 90% of what we eat. I'm not going to lie. I know that this is almost everything we eat on a day-to-day basis. Bread, this has gluten in it. So what happens is the more you eat this type of foods, your body begins to produce mucus. Okay, I remember when I was in 2004, I had TB. Somehow I picked up TB. And what was in my chest was so heavy, just thick mucus, And that's what happens when you have flu. When your body is under attack, it produces mucus. You get me? So when they say you have a disease, all that is really is accumulation of mucus. So when you eat these foods, because they're highly acidic and the body is alkaline, right? The natural state of your blood is alkaline, which is somewhere here, 7.4. So if your natural state of your blood is alkalinity and you eat mostly acidic foods, your body, to protect you from the acid, because acid burns your body. So your body says, to protect you, I'm going to produce mucus. So the aim of the mucus is to cover the problem, all right, so that it doesn't burn your flesh or your genes or whatever. And so then your body continues to produce this mucus as you get older, and it begins to harden, and it stays in the lining of your colon. So the day you start feeling inflammation in the arm, inflammation in the leg, inflammation in the back, inflammation somewhere, is because the body decided, there's too much here. We got to distribute. So wherever it distributes, now there's going to be inflammation, because in here, it is still safe because there's chemicals still busy, acids that are busy trying to break down all the food, all the mucus, all of that stuff. But in other parts of the body, it's just pure interference. It's interfering with blood flow. It's interfering with oxygen flow. It is interfering with how the body is supposed to function. Mucus is where it is not supposed to be. So for me, it was in my pancreas, right? It was because I'd been eating so much sugar foods, and the sugar is hidden. The sugar is called fructose, maltose, lactose. If you buy a chocolate bar, it's just 100% sugar, but you don't know, because the words they use don't say this thing is 99.9% sugar. They say fructose, maltose, lactose, but all those O's are sugar, right? You're going to take Coca-Cola. I used to love to make hot chocolate. I used to make that all the time. I used to eat all the stuff. I used to love chicken eggs and all this stuff. So eventually, at 30 years old, my body said, I can't do this anymore, Molo. I've been trying to process this mucus, this sugar, this acid. I can't take it anymore. And my body failed on me. And so when I realized that the issue is that I've been eating a lot of acid foods, I switched and I went completely plant-based. And these are your vegetables, the boring word, fruits, right? These are nuts. These are seeds, things that come naturally from the soil. In a matter of about 2 to 3 weeks after converting from this side to this side, my health problems disappeared. Literally. I was now alert. I could have energy. And my libido shot back up. And I was good. And I was starting to feel good about myself again. And the energy level returned. And I was like, wow. I felt like I was sleeping. I felt like I was in a slumber. Like I was always tired. But today, I feel more alive. I feel more alert. So as this is happening, I'm in the company and I'm thinking to myself, clearly there's something wrong here. Because 90% of everybody that I know eats on the right side, eats acidic foods, which is a reason why children are born with cancer, children are born with eczema, children are born with diabetes, like little toddlers. And the reason they are born that way is because the mother puts the kids in a very acidic environment inside the belly. So clearly, those things are going to have effects on the child. And when that happens, you get sick born. You get sick. Kids that are born sick. Kids that are born asthmatic. They've been asthma. I've had asthma since I was a baby. It has become so normal for us to be born sick. We even accept some diseases and say, no, these are ours. In this family, we are the diabetics. We do high blood pressure here. It becomes a normal thing within the. So I said to myself, I can't just go around motivating people and telling them you can become successful, because clearly 90% of the community is eating the same way I used to eat, which means the same problems I encounter, depending on what you eat the most, you are going to suffer. It means you are also going to start having asthma or cancer. It means your children are going to suffer. It means your mother, your brother, your sisters, at some point, their bodies are going to give up. And when they give up, they're going to go to the allopathic doctor. And he's going to tell them, go on insulin. He's going to tell him, go on chemotherapy. And let's destroy every cell inside of you. And if we can keep you as sick as possible, we can keep you paying us until the day you die. Because you're never going to get well from chemo. Because they don't go to the problem. They don't say, what is causing the disease? They say, oh, you have an insulin problem? Great, let's show you what we're going to do with insulin. So they say to me, oh, Molo, you have insulin. This is insulin. This is glucose. You are supposed to have this much insulin, and then this glucose, which is the sugar, the natural sugar that comes into your body, this guy can say, hey, you go there, you go there, you go there, you stay here, whatever, right? But now if you eat too much sugar, this becomes this much, and this becomes this little. Then they call you insulin resistant. So now they say, oh, your insulin is not able to regulate your sugar. So instead of saying, let's reduce what you eat, they say, let's increase the insulin. The insulin is not a problem. If you do what you're supposed to do to reduce the sugar to the normal level, the insulin will continue to function. Do you get my point? Make sense? So I reduced the sugar and I cleaned the sugar out of my pancreas and out of my lungs and out of my digestive system, and everything went back to normal. Once everything went back to normal, my body went back to functioning again. Insulin could now distribute the sugar and do what it's supposed to do. But the allopathic doctor, the aim is to keep you sick. All right? So if that is the type of lifestyle that you are engaged in, I would recommend that you start adjusting. Okay? I would recommend that you reduce your meat intake, because meat is heavy on the body, particularly red meat. And what you need to know about meat, it is cancerous. It is destroying the cells inside of your body. The best thing you can do for yourself and your family is get used to not eating too much meat, because that's the trap. Meat is dead flesh. It is rotting. It is dying. It is rotting. It is going to continue to rot inside your stomach. Do you get me? The more you eat, the more it rots inside of you. The more it rots inside of you, that's why we gain weight. We accumulate. Your body can't process anymore because the body is not being able to clean up as fast. And the reason the body is not able to clean up fast is because what you're eating is hard for the body to digest. And you're not even drinking my green juices to help your body. You're not. You know, you're going to drink wine, you're going to drink alcohol, you're going to drink tap water. All right? And all of those things are not helping your body metabolize. So what I decided to do after realizing that many people are suffering is this is what I'm going to do. Not only will I have products that I can sell online and have people detox and everything, but I'm going to make juices. And the reason I make juices is because I know kids love juices. And if you can make them nice, as a mother, you can start doing something for your kids that other parents are not. And you can start giving your kids a chance so that they do not become victims of this vicious society that we find ourselves in, that feeds us toxic foods, that fixes junk, and they call it food. And it is the fastest thing that you see going on. McDonald's opens faster than anything you can see. KFC opens faster than anything you can see. You don't see a lot of health food shops around here because nobody is focused on making sure that you are healthy. It is nobody's prerogative. Nobody takes that seriously. So we live in a world where junk is the norm. So the more junk you eat, the more junkified you get. And the more junk you accumulate, now you have disease. Now you are sick. Now you can't even perform your duties here at work. Now you're not even functioning. You're not alert. You don't have energy. You're always tired. And you wonder why you're always tired. You wonder why you can't seem to remember stuff. You wonder why your energy levels have gone down. It is because you have not been eating alkalinity. You have not been taking your fruits and vegetables. And the reason I did that is because I know that when you go out there and you try and have something healthy, chances are they're going to give you GMO foods. And not only that, they'll only give you a Greek salad. I get whatever the restaurant about Greek salad. You can just see this thing is not even made with love. You know, this person is just doing their job because they are paid to do it, you know. Chop, 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 hoy it in front of you. Hey, here you go. So in this, what I decided to do was combine carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. The aim of this is because your body is 90 or 70%, 75% water. And if your body is 75% water, you need to make sure there's continuous circulation of the right things, because that's where life is. Because water is movement. Water is oxygen. Oxygen is movement, correct? So if there's not enough movement of water and blood and oxygen inside of your body, you are slowing down, which means there's interference in the bloodstream. There's fat, all right, that comes from the dairy. There's fat that comes from the meat, all right? There's toxins that comes from the packaged food with all the E213, this, and that. All of those things are chemicals that are harmful towards your body and they cause cancer. So you eat packaged food, you eat all that stuff, and in the end, you don't have enough of this. So, what was I saying? I think I lost myself a little bit. So anyway, what I managed to do here was combine what you're going to need to for blood circulation, air circulation, and water. The aim of that is to clean out the toxins. If you learn he's a security guard, big belly. Big belly. And when I kids don't even pay me, bro. When I you're my little project. Could offer juice as much as possible. Juice what? So he drank it. Kamushita video living at the same time. He loves it. So he goes home later on, the next day when he clocks in. Me bra, and then juice in the hey, my man, bona jo, hey, juice la me bra manyana jo. Hey, mpuziri paepe. Arvona jo. Something happened that has not happened in a long time. Once or a minute, and that's the power of these juices. The aim is to condense all the minerals. And the most important thing that you need to be aware of is not vitamins. It's not proteins. It's not enzymes. It's minerals. Minerals are what feed the body. The body is electric. You need stuff that conducts electricity. You need things that keep movement, that keep energy going. Nothing can give you that except what comes from the soil. So instead of giving you a or or I don't eat this and that, I break it all up. I put it in here. And I put some nice green apples and I make sure that it's completely alkaline. I make sure I put kale, which is going to oxygenate you and give you a lot of energy and give you a lot of calcium and strengthen your bones. You don't need calcium from milk. In fact, there is no calcium from milk. All it does, it brings a lot of acid inside of your body and it robs you because the body says, how are you not melek? It says, ooh, acid. Pull out the calcium, pull out the magnesium, pull out the potassium, go into the digestive system, dissolve all that acids. Okay? So it leaves your bones weak. This is part of the reason why Tawana melek mostly suffer from osteoporosis because it's the opposite. We live in an upside world, you know? They tell you, this is good for you. Drink it, eat it. But you don't do the research. You don't take the time to actually study whether it is actually good for me to drink the milk of a cow. You don't. All you know is, hey, so busy melek. But then one day when you start suffering, you don't know where your problem comes from. You don't even know to point towards the milk. Because for your whole life, like myself, all you've known is that milk is good for you. But now you find yourself in a situation where you are osteoporosis, your bones are weak, you're breaking, or whatever the case may be. And then you don't know where to point. And the reason you don't know where to point is because nobody ever made nutrition and health a subject or a class or something that we should know, right? Because back in the days, our parents didn't have to know what food was. Everything named from the soil, and they would eat there. But today, food comes from the shop. Today, food comes from the restaurant. And today, the aim is to get the food as fast as possible to you. It's not even about making sure that it is in the right quality or the right condition. Nobody cares about that. The aim is to get you your money. And if they can get you your money, they know they have you sick. And if you start getting sick, you'll go to the doctor. What the doctor give you? He's not going to give you alkalinity. He's going to give you more acids. More acids are going to continue to knock your body out of balance. Then there you go. Soon, motosataka pilise 1, 2 pills, 3 pills. I know a lady, Transnet, she's on 9 pills. I mean, after 3, I'll realize where at what point are you going to say, maybe these things don't work, you know? How many pills have I been drinking and I'm not well? You know, she's on 9 now and she still hopes. Do you understand the amount of brainwashing that we are dealing with here? Do Do you understand that it is a deliberate intention from the medical industry, from the food industry to do this to us? And if I can just do that by providing my service, that's providing you with my juice. You can take one juice a day. I would say in the morning and in the evening. If I advise people to take two, because I know you eat every day. And as much as you eat every day, for every meal you eat, you're supposed to release. So if you eat 3 times a day, you're supposed to release 3 times a day. If you don't release 3 times a day, you have 2 meals backed up inside of you. Yeah? Yeah, but that's how we gain weight. But that's why we gain weight. Because milor não está to store. You see? What I ate yesterday, if I don't release it, then it's stored. Then I'm going to eat tomorrow. Then I'm going to eat tomorrow. Some people are like, oh, that 4 days you don't fail. Yes, ma'am.
Can I only drink this juice without oppotunity?
Yeah, it'll keep you energized. Major. It'll keep you major energized. It'll help you metabolize. Because 90% of our energy goes towards our digestive system. 90% of our energy. The reason we are always tired is because the body is still busy trying to process meal last week. So because of that, we lose so much energy. So once you start releasing and the body can now say, ooh, I can relax a little bit. Now some of that energy goes into other areas of your life. You get me? Yeah, it's okay. So that energy can be used in other areas of your life. I slept at 12. At 5 o'clock, I was already up. I take the stuff every day. I hardly eat, I'll be honest with you, because the body doesn't really need that much food in any case. As long as you have minerals, because there's fiber in here. And fiber is what the body says, oh, you have had enough. You see what I'm saying? Fiber is the key.
Sorry? No, I was saying you're supposed to sleep 8 hours.
Yeah, that's 3/4 of your day. I don't recommend that. I would say sleep faster. Sleep 6 hours. So, but ladies and gentlemen, that is my story. All right? My story is I was a guy who once got diabetes. And I realized that other people baja and they live just like I do. And it is a conscious decision for me now to start educating my people so that they are aware. Because your children are going to suffer if you don't. I would have failed them. Not even you, them. Because they deserve to know for themselves. Because I was so angry because I felt deceived. Like why didn't somebody tell me for meat was going to hurt me so much? Or milk was going to cause me so much pain and suffering? Why didn't somebody warn me about these cheese snacks that I like, or these chips, or this fake food, this junk? Why didn't somebody tell me? I was angry. So I figured, let me go out into the world and tell the next person so they can make their own adjustments. And in 3 weeks, if you decide to go on my program, my detox program, your energy levels are going to shoot up, your weight is going to go down, your skin is going to clear up, you're just going to feel new again. And that's what I'm here for, just to share that with you guys. So thank you for your time. I truly appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, I'm more than willing to take them. Yeah. It's okay, guys. I'm a very friendly guy. So I went vegan. And I started, for women, I started finding other women who make natural products for your skin. Because what women don't realize, all these chemicals that you guys put on yourself, study makeup and all that stuff, they are carcinogen. They cause cancer, And that's largely a contributing factor towards hormonal imbalance as well in many women's bodies. Because so many toxins, so much estrogen, especially from the food, it knocks the body out of balance. So you have painful menstruation, you have irregular menstruation. I've just been learning, okay? So these things affect your body major. And the reason you go for 7 days and they're so painful is because you have accumulated a lot of toxins. According to a lady called Queen Afua, which I would advise you guys to start paying attention to, your menstrual cycle should go for 3 days. That is an indication of how clean you are inside of your body. Yes, sir.
Just a simple question for me. Because I'm just wondering what's in the juice, and can't I make the juice?
You definitely can. You definitely can.
So if you can just give me the ingredients, then I go home and I just
Make it yourself?
and-
No problem. I don't have a problem sharing this knowledge. I want you to start doing this because then you can share it with your kids. So in here, there's apple, kale, basil, cucumber, lettuce, and lime. All right. The aim of this is to alkalize your body because alkaline is where the CHO arrangement is: carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. And carbon is what you are. So you breathe in oxygen and you take out. So you are a carbon being. So you need to put in a lot of carbon inside of you. Yeah. All right. So you are putting in life back into your body for everything. And each juice is only $29. If you don't take it for yourself, take it for your kids. Trust me, they're going to love it. If you don't take it for yourself, take it for your kids. Yeah, I know, but give them a taste. Give them a taste because the taste will always change your perception. That's why I work on the taste. Because if I know that if I get the taste right, the perception once you taste it will go. I have a man, when I first met him, he was taking, I was not taking any of my juices. In fact, he had prostate cancer. All right. And prostate cancer is nothing but too much mucus that is in your digestive system weighing down on your prostate gland. All right. So it's pushing too much pressure on the prostate because it's too heavy and there's not enough air circulation. And remember, as a man, an infection really is blood and air circulation, right? It's just electricity. A thought is triggered and something has to happen. So which means there has to be circulation that allows for things to move. But when there's blockage of the prostate gland, that's where most men suffer. So the mucus is in the prostate gland. We have to detox the digestive system and that will release the mucus in the prostate.
Oh, hey, Andy.
Oh, they are on the spot. Yeah,
Yeah,
yes, ma'am. Okay.
Can I take this juice?
100%.
And another thing, Moto Island, they take one.
Yeah.
I can say yes, no, and
You know,
yes, how many times have they turned it?
yeah. Look, the true cause of disease is two things: acidic foods and the deprivation of minerals. So we deprive the body of what it's supposed to live on. We can put in this junk, we can put in this meat, we can put in this milk, but our body's not meant to run on those things. That's why they give up at some point. That's why we start developing these problems. So what I would say to you is the best thing you can do for yourself, if you can, right, is transition out of the eating lifestyle that you're currently engaged in. Because it's like playing Russian roulette with a loaded gun. There is no way it's going to end up well. There is no way. At some point, it'll catch up. So the best thing you can do for your body, let go. Slowly start graduating into the fruits and vegetable lifestyle and start falling in love with making food with your own hands, making your own fruits and vegetables. So I would say I would immediately put you on these juices. I would immediately detox you, actually. If I would immediately change your diet. Immediately. Because none of the things that you're eating right now are contributing towards your good health. And what I will give you, your body will finally say, all right? So these juices are exactly what I will put you on. And for me, it doesn't matter whether type 1 or type 2. It's just accumulation of acid and the deprivation of minerals. So I give you so many minerals in here. Kale, all by itself. All right? Kale. Oh, you can grow kale. Kale is a leafy green. It's like spinach. But spinach is acidic. You see? Spinach is acidic just like potatoes. They will hurt your body. In as much as we think they are natural, any food that does not have seed is unnatural. If you cannot find a seed inside that food is not food. It's junk. It's gonna hurt you. It's gonna bring so much pain and inflammation to you.
So you were diagnosed diabetes type 1.
2.
Oh, you were type 2.
Yeah.
When? How long was this?
That's the thing, right? That's the notion. I was under the impression that diabetes is for certain people. No, it's all about the amount of sugar you take in. Right? So, okay, neki jadi biscuit tadi inci, neki rata di the main say the jelly tots yo niggas took us para Pakistan let's on 100% cleaned myself of everything that I used to have. Today I'm in good health. 100%. That was 2016. Okay. Monna me diabetes. Diabetes, yes, diabetes. You know, accumulation of sugar, which is acid. Okay, nega accumulated less range. So what did I do? I cleaned my body of that sugar. When you clean the same way, how I let a cut, the body fixes itself. The body does the same thing inside.
Because you're type 2. I get not type 1.
Yeah.
Type 1 means
Yeah. Okay. You're not producing enough. Okay.
So
yeah.
I'm asking what type 1.
I recommend 2 a day. Yeah. And I would recommend that you start letting go of the label. I am this. I am that. You know? I think it's time to let go, especially because the real reason why now I love teaching people about health and nutrition is so that they are aware that there is no such thing as chronic disease. There is no such thing as bolwetse. So detachment from the so-called words is very critical because all we have to do is clean your body. And if we successfully do that, which depends largely upon the decisions you make every day, because I can give you a good eating plan, completely plant-based, and it has all the nice meals you can make for yourself just the day utarankita. And these are things you can find go Food Lovers Market or Pick and Pay. You just don't buy seedless, okay? And these are stuff that you can get every day. You can start making the stuff yourself. And they taste good, and you can fall in love with it. I never thought I would be vegan, but here I am. From 2016, I feel sorry for somebody when they eat meat. Literally, I do. I know, but it's just bad addiction. You know, it's just a bad addiction. Azanga rafiwa chance who decide or whether to eat or and I mean, if we were taught from the time with kids, this is bad for you, but why eat? But it's bad for you. And this is good for you, but why you choose? I think kids, from a wise perspective, they would say, you know what, I don't want something that's going to hurt me. But the kids are not told. We are not taught. So we take on the eating habits of our families. And this is where families say, this runs in my family. No, it's not that diabetes runs in your family or high blood pressure runs in your family. It's the eating habits that produce the disease that run in the family. You see? If you eat the same foods that if I eat the same food my mother ate who had cancer, I will suffer from the same problems, correct? It's the eating habits in the family. It's not that there's disease that is passed on through the gene. Are we trying to say that God makes us sick or just does that? No, it's what we do. You see, nature creates perfection. We affect nature because we've been taking on another type of lifestyle that is not good for us, that is not African, that is not natural. Yes, sir.
Yeah, can I ask something else? So if you can fix your diet, you don't
100%. But the juices are necessary for detoxing. Because when you start the process, you need... The reason I made the juices is because immediate assimilation. The body doesn't have to break down the juice to start working. You see, the minerals can already go into the body and start helping again because you are putting back minerals actually when you take this juice. So when you eat a food, it still has to crush it. And remember, if you've been eating an acidic diet, there is already mucus in the lining of your colon that robs your body of nutrition, that robs you of whatever you're taking in. You see? So to bypass that process, we need immediate assimilation. That's why Dr. Sevi focuses on gene food. I want to go inside your cells. I don't want to go inside your digestive system. No. I want to go into the machine and wake up the machine so that it can do what it's supposed to do. Yes, sir.
Thanks,
Sure. Yeah.
So I
You can order from me. Molo juice. Yeah, Molo Kenna. I take pride in what I do, so I put my name on it. A week. That's why I only give you a week's supply.
Because I get
Mobile change are under different conditions. You know, if it's no longer in a cold environment, that's when it will change. Yeah.
So you recommend
You must always keep it refrigerated. That's why I get some cooler box with ice in it. So yeah.
So only flavor one.
No, I actually make 4, but I couldn't bring all that stuff here because the other thing, perception. Immediately get like green juice, people are so reluctant to buy, you know? So I know that first I have to work with your mind, and then once you try it, hey, because that's it. Because if I don't, the other thing is there is already an industry penetrating in your thinking. Do you know how hard it is for me to actually get you to try my juice? But it's so easy for you to buy 90% of sugar in a can. You know, I have to work so hard just to get you to do something good for you. And these are lotions that a lady produces that she makes available. And I decided that I was just going to become a vegan ambassador. So on my website, I'm going to sell all things natural for men, for women, all these things that you apply on your skin, all the stuff. The aim is to remove the toxins so that your body can stay in natural health. So go to my website, and going forward, I'm going to include more and more products. It's going to become like a one-stop shop for people who sell natural stuff. And you know, people who actually make teas in a mountain, you know, people like that. Quite because I want to give their products on the shelf. I want to get people to know there's good products that are not harmful to the skin and to your stomach, that you can take and put on yourself, and they are good for you 100%. That's what I want to do. Yes, sir.
Is it on your line?
Yes. Yes, it's all online. No, I don't have a physical store yet. It's online. So I ship to you.
And this is produced from where?
Different producers. They have their own places where they produce from. I would assume that people, because they actually have their actual businesses.
No, I mean...
No, man. I don't need a factory to produce this. I just need a clean environment.
Okay, so it's not mass.
Oh, no. I have not gotten there yet. You know, I'm working there. I just left my job 2 years ago, you know, and between that time and now, I was building up to a brand. I was building something. And this is finally the time where the universe has finally shifted, and I can be able to go out there and make a difference and share my message. Yeah? Yeah, no, sure. Yes, that's what happens. No, you just order. You just send me a text. What's up, business? Only 350 for now, because I don't want to risk to make a lot, and then, you know, I still have to deal with public perception. Yeah, so this is good for now. No, I can. Wherever you are, we ship to you. Yeah, wherever you are, we ship to you. Yes. Cool. Are you guys sorted? I'm happy. I think I've said a lot here. And thank you guys for your time, yeah?